so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So you've acted, written, and produced before, but Good Boy is your directorial debut. What about the story made you want to direct it and contribute to the filmmaking process in this way?
Well, I've always wanted to be a director. That's the truth of it. I've loved film my entire life, and I've been looking for a way into directing for years. And then actually, it came from a very personal, sad thing, which is that I lost my mum during the pandemic, and I felt compelled to write and tell this story. So the short film is really me trying to work out my grief and what to do with the loss of my mum. And I suppose because it's so personal, that I felt like I couldn't really give it to anyone else. So that's when it felt obvious that this should be my directorial debut.
Amazing. Something as a fellow filmmaker and mostly writer producer, I was so curious because and impressed with your work because it's so hard to draw from your own experience
Yeah.
without exploiting it.
Yeah,
Because I too have written about grief.
Right.
So how did you navigate that while making Good Boy?
Oh, listen, I'm still navigating it. I still feel some guilt along the way. I think it's a really fine line to walk, and I'm conscious of it the whole time. I felt like I guess I would check in with my mum internally, and I think, she had great taste, and I think she would have loved all of this. So I kind of think, does this feel right? Would mum have minded this? And generally, I feel like I've hopefully got her blessing. So that's the way I've been sort of like checking myself the whole way along. But yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, I think I never had the pleasure of knowing your mom, but I think she'd be very proud of what you made.
Oh, thank you so much.
Again, I love that like the voices in the head and everyone in the bandwagon is this beautiful metaphor for grief. And something else I so loved about this film is that you've partnered with Let's Talk About Loss.
Yeah.
Can you just explain how that partnership came about and why do you think it's so important, especially for the Brits, to talk about grief?
Yeah, oh my God, especially the Brits. Yeah,
I love them. I want to marry one, but like, I want British babies, but we need to talk about our feelings.
Yeah, we're not the best at talking about our feelings, but I'd say that culturally, sort of, most people aren't good at talking about grief or death. And I feel like actually the sort of the pandemic, maybe that's brought that to the fore a little bit, and that people are now talking about it more than before. But Let's Talk About Loss are a fantastic grief charity based in the UK, and they look after bereaved teenagers across the country. And I was introduced to the founder of the company through a friend, and I was chatting to her, and suddenly talking to her about what she could do with this film. In sort of in response to your previous question, actually made sense of the whole film for me, of the whole project. Suddenly, it wasn't just about me and my grief. It's the thought that this could could help other people and get other people to talk about their own experiences. Suddenly, made the whole experience open up, and it felt like it wasn't just sort of ego-driven, or it suddenly felt like, oh, maybe this could do some good in the world, in its own small way. And as an artist, that's everything I want to do, basically. So we're very honoured to be working with them, and the film is going to be used by them to screen to the kids that they look after, the teenagers, and sort of encourage them to talk about their own experiences.
Amazing. I'm just having an anxiety moment. I'm like, is this recording? I think because your answers are so beautiful. I'm like, I pressed record.
Oh, bless you.
It's been a day. It's been a day. Fabulous. How does one get Emma Thompson to EP their project?
Oh my God.
The actual Queen of England. Sorry, Charlie.
The Queen. I mean, I've loved her my entire life. I still cannot believe that she responded to my email. I let alone came on to my directorial debut as an EP. It's just. But I suppose we were really lucky in that we got shortlisted for the Oscars for Best Live Action Short Film, and it was so beyond our expertise and understanding. None of us. It's my first film. None of the producers have ever played at that level before either. And it's a very particular thing, and we were all a bit scared, I suppose. So we reached out to Emma Thompson and asked her if she'd help us to sort of guide us through the process a little bit. And to my amazement, she replied, she watched the film, she loved it. She replied within like 24 hours or something over Christmas.
You got the queen
Oh,
in 24 hours?
yeah. Yeah, and she's just been incredible. She's just been such an amazing help, and she's every bit as generous and kind and funny and smart that you could possibly imagine she is.
Oh, and
I'm
you like,
happy,
and you
I'm
want,
happy to report.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
want her to be that, and she
Yeah.
is. Last question. How, again, you've had this amazing EP come on. I know this film has gotten a lot of great hype and momentum behind it in the UK. So how does it feel for your film to be making its US premiere here at SBIFF?
I couldn't be more honoured. I've been a fan of this festival for years, and I've been wanting to come for years. So not only am I here now, I'm also here with my film, which is just amazing. And I suppose it's a very British film, and I worried at the beginning that the tone and the comedy and stuff wouldn't translate necessarily. So it's thrilling to know that it does, and that Spiff wants us. So it's a thrill to be able to share it with American audiences.
Amazing. And then where can everyone find out more about you and your work?
I guess through Instagram and on Twitter, I'm Mr. Tom Stuart. And stay tuned, basically.
Yeah, I know.